And open fire at a doctor's office and end up in a broad daylight shootout with police.
Welcome to CSL TV, but a GA suspect fell miserably as he evaded the cops by hiding in a drain pipe. Now, you tell me, why the f would you be in a drain pipe? But anyway, a suspect tried to evade the police and then he crawled into a drain pipe. But unfortunately, for this 31-year-old, this ain't no goddamn Super Nintendo, Super Mario World type shit. So, after getting into a car accident, this idiot fled on foot. You know what I'm saying? They found a holster, drugs. He was stealing people packages off their porch, you know. So, he got caught up to him. That's what it was. But anyways, we can see. We're going to watch this. Watch this. Look at this idiot. Man. So don't be like this guy. All this evil demonic shit, man. Come on now.
Is in serious trouble after a deadly car crash, and the details are horrifying. Early one morning in July 2022, 19-year-old Mackenzie Shirilla from Cleveland, Ohio, was driving with her boyfriend and another friend in the car after the three had reportedly been smoking weed at a friend's house. Surveillance video shows her driving normally at first, but after making a turn, she quickly becomes what the judge called hell on wheels. The video shows her accelerating to 100 miles an hour in just a few seconds before suddenly jerking the wheel to the left and crashing into a brick wall. The crash killed her boyfriend, 20-year-old Dominic Russo, and a friend, 19-year-old Devon Flanagan. But Mackenzie survived, and she was found unconscious in the twisted wreckage shortly after, with her fuzzy Prada slipper stuck to the accelerator. She apparently wanted to end her turbulent relationship with Russo, and cell phone data showed she visited the scene of the fatal crash a few days earlier. The question in court was whether this was intentional or simply a case of losing control of the car while driving recklessly, and the judge ruled it was intentional.
Her actions were controlled, methodical, deliberate, intentional, and purposeful. This was not reckless driving. This was murder.
She's now facing life in prison. Her mom says they plan to appeal the decision.
Man, that's crazy, Nas. We saw she was driving very fast, and she ain't even hit the brake. She just kept going. Like, what was your reason of doing that? If you was in a toxic situation, excuse yourself from it. Don't do stuff like this, because now 2 people lost their life. You about to get yours taken from you, so that's 3 people total. For what?
Man to open fire at a doctor's office and end up in a broad daylight shootout with police. It all began at a medical building in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Police were called over reports of a man with a gun at a clinic. When cops arrived, they found that a doctor had been shot, and they spotted a man with a long gun fleeing the scene in a black Chrysler. This dashcam video picks up shortly after as an officer arrives on the scene. Multiple cop cars chase the black Chrysler, which speeds right by the officer who just arrived. The officer immediately turns around, drives across the grass, and joins several other officers in pursuit of the suspect. As they make their way through a busy intersection, the guy in the Chrysler crashes into a car and ends up coming to a stop just up the road. Police swarm in as the guy with the gun opens his car door, and this officer begins to engage. After the guy begins shooting at police, officers return fire. Keep in mind, this is all happening in the middle of the afternoon, in the middle of traffic, as cars are lined up just feet away from where this gunfight is taking place. Police eventually strike the man, putting an end to the shootout, and the suspect was soon taken to the hospital. This all went down at the end of July, but this footage was just released. At the scene, police say they recovered a semi-automatic rifle and also found a pistol, shotgun, and more ammo inside the gunman's car. According to court documents, the gunman's ex-girlfriend worked at the healthcare center and claims he had choked her the night before the shootout went down. It's also alleged that the shooter threatened his ex with a gun, saying if he couldn't have her, no one could. According to research by Everytown for Gun Safety, An average of 70 women are killed every month by firearms by an intimate partner, and over 4.5 million women have reported being threatened with a gun by a partner. Restricting access to firearms can help keep Americans safe, but in gun-friendly states like Texas, right-leaning politicians continue to instead expand access to guns, even after mass tragedies like the Uvalde school shooting. The 62-year-old doctor who was shot is said to have been helping people get out of the clinic after the gunman arrived and is now out of the hospital recovering from his injuries. The 34-year-old gunman is hospitalized in critical condition and faces multiple charges, including attempted capital murder of a peace officer.
Man, that is crazy. Domestic violence, boy. Domestic abuse, and then it turned into violence. That's what it starts to. Verbally, and then it gets to physical. You know, and I'm just sorry that this lady had to go through that. I'm sorry all them people had to go through that. The folks on the highway, the folks in the police unit, the people in that doctor's office. You know, and this guy is mentally crazy. So he's in critical condition. Don't know if he's going to make it or not. But he going to definitely go wherever is the right place for him. Because you can't be doing shit like this to people. You know, you is not high power. You don't make these type of calls. We're supposed to be here to help each other and to make things better.
This story out of Minnesota is incredibly tragic. This is 48-year-old Mike Ryan. He was the coach of the girls hockey team at Thomas Jefferson High School in Bloomington, Minnesota, just south of Minneapolis. Mike was a beloved coach, husband, and father, but his life took a tragic turn. Back in April 2021 at a bar in St. Paul, Mike and another man got into an argument. This argument spilled outside, and after it appeared to calm down, the man punched Mike in the face. Mike then fell down the stairs of the bar and his head landed on the concrete surface, which ultimately led to his death. The 45-year-old man who punched Mike eventually turned himself into police and soon pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter. On Tuesday, he received his sentence, 7 years of probation, which requires 2 years of therapy, an anger management program, and no drinking. If he violates these terms, he'll go to jail for 7 years. After Mike's death back in 2021, his hockey team posted on Twitter, "He will be dearly missed by his wife and daughters and the Bloomington hockey community. Rest in peace."